All right, guys, welcome back into another episode of To The Show Baseball Podcast, presented by Beyond the Monster. I am your host, Andrew Parker, and today's episode, I actually have a member of the Tampa Bay Rays system. I got Ty Cummings on, who's fresh off a Player of the Week award for his performance in Double-A Montgomery. If not familiar with Ty, he was a part of the Randy Arozarena trade last year with the Mariners. He was one of the player to be named later that did come over in the trade at the end of the season. And he's just now starting his first professional year with Tampa after spending last year in Seattle's system. But before I go any further, if you're watching this on YouTube, listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, please like, subscribe, helps me out a ton. And I always love hearing the feedback from you guys about these. And obviously we're working hard to get a guy on every single episode. So enough of me yapping. Without further ado, let's shoot you on to the interview with Ty Cummings. All right. I am joined by Ty Cummings of the Tampa Bay Rays organization. And Ty is coming off of a Player of the Week award for his performance in the past week, pitching down in Montgomery. And Ty, I kind of want to, that's one I wanted to lead off with here. You had a great week last week. I know it was across two different outings, but how did you feel last week? And I guess what was working for you?
I felt good, was able to get those 2 outings in, which was nice, almost used the first one as, a bullpen in such of a case, but, really did a good job of just staying ahead, being ahead's a big thing, especially in this org, and you see it when you're ahead, you get those early outs, and you're able to get into those leverage counts and really use your stuff to get to those strikeouts, so I felt like I did a much better job of just staying ahead with the sinker cutter combination and just doing that.
Was that a planned outing, that first outing of last week, just going one inning to open the game?
Yeah, we had an injury come up, so I was told I was just gonna open up, go 1 inning on Wednesday, and then come back and start like normal start on Saturday. So I kind of known for, I mean, I knew the day before, so I was able to, kind of plan that, hey, we're going 1 inning here. We're just gonna treat it like a normal start, but it's just one.
And obviously, I had mentioned this before. You're in a brand new organization now, and I know that there's a lot of challenges that come. Obviously, just learning new teammates, new coaches, new everything, new development staff. I mean, everything is different. So for you to have the week you just had, early on, you've only had 3 outings to start the year, but how important was it for you to kind of get off to like a good start in the new org?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, the Rays have done a really, really good job of welcoming in me and just helping me out with everything that I need and kind of showing me how they operate. But definitely getting out to a good start and just being able to gain some confidence with them and the new org has been huge, honestly. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'm loving it so far. So it's been good.
How weird was that for you to be involved in a trade and not just being in the trade, but you were the player to be named later. So it's like the trade happened months before you actually were informed you were switching teams. So how weird was that for you?
Yeah, it was really, really weird. Last year, with the Mariners, you knew, watching their big league club that they were gonna make moves. So all the minor league guys kind of knew it was coming. So you're kind of just waiting to see once it gets to that trade deadline. And the trade deadline pass and you kind of take a deep breath and you're like, oh, all right, I think I'm safe. And you kind of forget about that player to be named later. So it's definitely weird. I was in a camp in Arizona when I found out, actually at a camp for the Mariners, and it was just you go from that morning thinking, all right, let's work out and get through my day, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're on a flight and you're like, okay, I'm a Tampa Bay Ray now. So it's pretty crazy.
Was obviously I feel like, being in the Mariner system, obviously you're playing a lot of games out in Pacific time and you got spring training out in Arizona, but obviously you get traded to a team back on the East Coast where, you're from and where you went to college and everything. Was the friends and family happy that, you were back in the time zone or at least close?
Yeah, they were all super, super excited. I mean, just to be able to be, 8 hours or less from home was something they dreamed of. And it's been nice. I was able to drive the spring training this time around and they've already been able to come out and visit for a weekend, so it's been really nice. They were extremely excited. I think I got home and they'd already ordered Tampa Bay gear, so it was pretty exciting for them.
Yeah, definitely. And, so obviously the trade kind of prepped you for your offseason. Obviously, you had a chance to kind of soak it in for over the offseason. What kind of things were you working on with you? Was there anything specific with your game? Like, were you on like a velo program? Were you trying to add weight? Like, I guess what did you focus on this offseason?
Really trying to hone in on, like, adding the weight and really taking care of my diet. I felt like for me, like, being able to stay around 200 pounds, and physically, that's where I needed to be, at least at 200 pound. So, really trying to hone in, especially early in the off season where throwing's not as heavy or not as important early on, is really honing in on that weight room and diet. And then once, we start to ramp up on the mound and getting into bullpens, it was really just honing in the command because I felt like even in college I had the stuff, but when I got in trouble was walks and giving up free passes. And that's where like one big hit leads to 3 runs instead of, a man on second with 2 outs. So like really honing in on the diet and weight room first. And then once we get into heavier throwing, just working on that command, working on staying ahead and being in the strike zone.
Was there anything that once you were traded and obviously got phone calls from the development staff and pitching coordinators and things with the Rays, like was there anything that they wanted you to look at or like, hey, we think you should throw this pitch or whatever? Was there any talks like that beginning of the offseason?
They've helped me so far with my, like, shorter slider, cutter, gyro, whatever you wanna call it, but, like, they've really helped me on throwing that a little bit harder. Like, last year was a good pitch for me, but it was just a little slow for their liking, so they've helped me change the grip on that a little bit, throw it harder. I'm able to throw it for strikes at pretty much the same rate now, so the Rays have done a great job at helping me that, and then they've helped me with a couple mechanical, like, I wouldn't say fixes, but, like, tinkering with some stuff, like with my load and my front legs. So like they've been great so far. I was lucky enough to go to the early pitching camp and kind of get settled in with them and understand exactly what they wanted from me and what their plan was for me.
So I think everybody knows that even around baseball fans, that the Mariners have done a fantastic job at developing pitching. I mean, they have one of the best starting rotations in baseball, and they have guys coming around everywhere. The Rays as well are one of those organizations that just grow pitching talent out of nowhere. It's usually the guys that like you've never heard of, and they turn up being studs. They've done it year after year. So, what did you think about that? Obviously, like being in a system like the Mariners, who have a very good farm system, and then heading to a team like the Rays, who are known for developing pitching. Like, did that excite you at all? To be like, okay, if I'm
Yeah.
leaving this org, I can at least go to a good org.
Yeah, for sure. I say I got lucky all the time. Like I got drafted by a good org and then getting traded to a good org. Like not a lot of guys get that opportunity. So like I was able to not only get developed a little bit by the Mariners, but also the Rays, where you can take what you learn from both orgs and kind of apply it. And it's been great so far. Like I look back at like what I was doing in college, and it's like I've grown so much since then, like as a pitcher and stuff. So I've been extremely lucky to be able to go through 2 different really good development orgs and super excited to continue on this journey.
So, how was the spring training being the new guy once again? Because you've only had two spring trainings in your career, so you've been the new guy 2 straight years. So, what was that like
Yeah,
again?
it's kinda tough. It's almost like getting drafted all over again, like starting over, like, you get with, like, your first org, and it's like you just, like, kinda learn the names of everybody, and then you get traded, and you're like, "Alright, we gotta go through this process again of, like, hey, my name's Ty Cummings, like, whatever, I was traded, where were you at last year?" Stuff like that. So it was definitely tough, but the guys over here, like, a lot of them had been traded over, so it's kind of a lot of us in the same boat almost, so it wasn't too bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
So, which spring training were you more nervous about, this one or your last or 2024?
Question. Ah, I would say this one, honestly. Like, I coming in from the off season, like, with the Mariners, I kinda, like, had got drafted and knew, like, hey, I'd probably go to low A, high A, like, coming in, but then coming over here during the off season, like I had no idea where I stood in the org, and I was just like, I don't know, like I knew maybe a couple guys, handful of guys coming in, so I was definitely a little nervous, but after the pitcher camp I came early to, I was like, all right, this isn't too bad, but I was for sure nervous coming in.
Yeah, I feel like it's nervous for like different reasons, right? Where it's like the
Yeah,
first one, you're just like, okay, like I actually am the fresh meat here, like right out of
yeah,
college, and then this one, it's like, well, I'm the new guy. Like all these guys are already friends, and I'm kind of coming in. So,
exactly.
uh, no, I feel you. That's why I had to ask because I'm like, I actually am genuinely curious. But let's talk about Double A. You get assigned to Double A to start 2025, first time being at the level. And what have you thought so far? I know it's a very small sample size, so I know it's probably it's only 3 outings. But what have you thought so far of Double A?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was definitely a goal coming into spring training for me. It was like I spent the whole year in high last year. I was like trying to make that move up to double A, which is definitely a good jump. I mean, you see it now, like just the level of play, like fundamentally, like everybody's sound. Like you're not seeing a lot of errors. You're seeing guys throw strikes, and then like when you make mistakes on the mound, like the hitters are good. They're gonna punish it a lot of times, but you just have to be able to have that confidence, not overthink it, and stay in the zone. Like everybody here has good stuff, and the hitters are good hitters. Like that's why we're all here. Everybody's got the talent, so you gotta trust your stuff, trust who you are as a pitcher, and just stay in the zone. And that's where I found some of the success early on. But and then you see it like when I'm behind or make mistakes, like I get punished. So it's been a great experience. I've been super excited for it. I mean, even watching the games or you learn something new from them every day. So it's been really good.
Have you noticed, like, obviously being in high A all of last year, and you logged over 100 innings, so you've had quite a bit of sample there. But in Double A, have you noticed a big jump in like the talent, or has it been one of those things where it's like you're facing the same guys you were last year, so it's just like, okay, like I've faced, well, I guess you didn't, you were in an opposite league, but you faced like the level of guys, they all kind of come up to Double A. Have you noticed a talent jump at all, or is it just what you thought it would be?
I mean, there's a little bit of a talent jump. I wouldn't say a talent jump, but honestly, like I would say, like their plans are a lot better when they come up to hit. They don't chase at bad pitches. Like if they don't get their pitch early in the count, they're gonna get their best swing off. So like you just see like the talent from low A to double A is really, really good. You just see guys start to mature as hitters, mature as pitchers and stuff. So I would say the talent's the same. It's just the plan of how they go about it every day is a little different.
All right, I got a couple questions left, and they're a little random, so stay with me here. You have an off day every Monday, and I know you pitchers like to gather around and do certain activities, but what does Ty Cummings do on an off day or in his free time?
I'm a huge golfer in video games, man.
That's what I
I
was
mean,
looking for.
This Monday we went played 27 holes. We played 18. We're like, let's go play another nine. Like, huge golfer, huge video games, like PlayStation 5's coming on the road. Like, it's going everywhere. I got the monitor with me. So those two activities pretty much take my time when I'm not on the baseball field, I would say.
Well, I apologize for taking you away from the sticks this morning. Are you are you using your real 99 these days, or what are you
Oh
playing?
yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
using the real 99. He's solid. He's doing his job right now, so hopefully he can continue to do that.
All right. So for golf, was it? So tell me about this. You're obviously big into golfing. A lot of pitchers are. It's a big pitcher thing. I mean, I guess it's just a big baseball player thing. But obviously, the a lot of the pitchers group up and do that. Was it hard for you to find your like new golfing group like in a new org? Because I'm sure you probably had like guys in Seattle's org that you're like, those are my guys. That's my foursome every Monday or whatever. Like, was it hard to try to like stick on with the foursome in the new org?
Not really so far. All the guys here are super cool, and then I got lucky. Like I got drafted with Brody Hopkins last year, so like coming over with him, it was like he knew we had golfed in spring training last year with the Mariners, so he knew I loved it. We golfed it together a million times, so it was like first off day we got here. It's like I get a text from him and he's like, "We're going golfing." And like I was like, "All right, perfect." And then it's like me, him, Vern plays a lot, Johnny Cueva. So like it's a solid amount of guys on the team that we're able to get in with. And I've been lucky enough to pretty much golf with a different foursome almost every time because everybody's playing. So we get a really good deal out in Montgomery. So it's been pretty easy getting that foursome in and being able to get some holes in.
Were you as glued to the TV as America was during the Masters?
Yeah, absolutely. We were in Pensacola, and if we're like, we would go through stretch, and then we would get in. We'd all run into the locker room, and they had a little TV set up there, and it'd be like 10 chairs just sitting around, just watching the Masters. Like some people were rooting for Roy, I was rooting for Bryson, other people were rooting for other guys, and it was pretty cool. I think that was one of my favorite Masters so far.
I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, obviously going to a playoff was insane.
Yeah,
But
insane. I watching him miss that we were on the bus when he missed the putt on 18 and we're like going crazy. Like I have my computer up. There's like four guys around me. There's guys in the front of the bus with like their phones. It was pretty cool.
yeah, I honestly felt horrible for him when he
Yeah.
missed that putt. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
not again. Like
No.
I didn't think he was going to be able to rebound if he would have lost that.
No,
That
it took some mental he did his job. I mean, I can't believe I don't know how you hit the fairway after you missed that putt to win the Masters, but I he impressed me with that one. I thought for
yeah.
sure it was going into the woods.
Yeah, and let it be known too, I would never fault somebody for missing that putt because I'd probably miss it 10 out of 10 times
Oh
in that
yeah.
stage as well. But
Oh
man,
yeah.
I was tough. But I'm glad he
I'm
got it out.
probably yeah, I'm
Um,
probably blowing that putt 5 feet past and missing the one on the way back.
oh yeah, the one that you hope that your guys give you as a gimme. But
Yeah, I'm like, is
yeah,
that good? Is that good? Please be
I think it's
good.
good. No. All right. Well, I got one question left for you. It is baseball related, but obviously we talked about it a little bit. You win Player of the Week this week. I know that's not something that you kind of wake up and be like, I want to win Player of the Week. That's my goal this week. I know you're just kind of going out there and doing it, but you won it. So, are there any other early season goals you're looking to accomplish, maybe by like mid season? Like, what would be a successful first half for you?
Honestly, like number wise, I don't like to look into them too much. I really just like to continue to honestly get work on getting better, like work on the pitches I have, work on my strengths, work on my weaknesses. But honestly, my biggest thing for me, like going in, is like I just want to make every start or outing I have. Like that's my goal every single year because like you see it, injuries happen. Like it's tough to stay healthy in the sport. So like being available is huge. So if every year I've gone in, I'm like, I'm not going to worry too much about the numbers. I'm just going to worry about trying to keep myself recovered and healthy to make every start or outing I have. So I would say that's my early season goal, like continue to stay healthy, continue to hone in on my arm care and stuff like that to be able to be out there and compete.
All right, Ty. Well, thank you so much for doing this in the middle of a week on the road. Obviously, I know your schedule's a little busy, but so thank you so much for doing this. And we're obviously going to be looking out for you as the season goes on.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.